Hey friends, so we're still reading Kevin Henkes, but we're kind of done with the main stories around Lily, and I'm going to branch out to somebody different. You still might see Lily here and there, but she's not going to be a main character. So this is called A Weekend with Wendell by Kevin Henkes, and I think this book is also really, really funny. I hope you like it too. On Friday afternoon, Wendell's parents dropped him off at Sophie's house. Wendell's going to spend the weekend with us, said Sophie's mother, while his parents visit relatives out of town. Oh, boy, said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. Do you think she's excited to have him there? We'll see. After a snack, Sophie helped Wendell carry his sleeping bag and suitcase upstairs. Well, what are we going to do now? Asked Wendell. Do you have any toys? Sophie pointed to her toy chest. Is that all you've got? Said Wendell. I've got 1,000,000 times more than that. What else is there to do around here? We could play house, said Sophie. Only if I get to make the rules, said Wendell. Do you think he seems like he might be a little bit bossy? So they played house and Wendell made the rules. He was the father, the mother, and the 5 children. Sophie was the dog. Then they played hospital. Wendell was the doctor, the nurse, and the patient. Sophie was the desk clerk. The desk clerk is kind of the person who checks you in when you go into a doctor's office or the hospital. When they pretended they worked at the bakery, Wendell was the baker and Sophie was a sweet roll. Isn't this fun? Said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. Do you think she's having fun? I think not. At dinner, Wendell said that he was allergic to anything green, so he didn't have to eat his vegetables. And then, when Sophie wasn't looking, he scooped the whipped cream right off her dessert. When is Wendell leaving? Whispered Sophie. Soon, said her mother. Soon, said her father. Look at her parents' faces. Do you think Wendell's a very good house guest? After Sophie's parents tucked Sophie in her bed, zipped Wendell in his sleeping bag and kissed them both and turned off the light, Wendell grabbed his flashlight and shone it right in Sophie's eyes. See you tomorrow, he said, smiling. Sophie shut her eyes. I can't wait for Wendell to go home, she said to herself. On Saturday morning when Sophie woke up, there was a lumpy blue monster jumping up and down on her bed. It was Wendell. She felt something pinch her leg at breakfast. It was Wendell. She heard scary noises coming from the broom closet. It was Wendell. Wendell used Sophie's crayons and left them on the porch so they melted. I bet her mom's not going to like that. At lunch, Wendell finger painted with his peanut butter and jelly. Isn't this fun? Said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. When is Wendell leaving? Whispered Sophie. Soon, said her mother. Soon, said her father. At bedtime, when Sophie put her head on her pillow, she heard something crunch. It was a note from Wendell. It said, See you tomorrow. Sophie shut her eyes. I can't wait for Wendell to go home, she said to herself. So you see the picture says, see you tomorrow. Wendell drew himself with some fangs saying, ha, 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 ha. And this is Sophie, and she's running, and her mouth is open like she's screaming. Before Wendell's parents picked him up on Sunday morning, he tried to make a long-distance phone call. He wrote his name on the bathroom mirror with toothpaste. He gave Sophie a new hairdo with shaving cream. Want to go outside to help me wash this off? Asked Sophie. We could play firefighter. Oh, boy, said Wendell. So they played firefighter, and Sophie made the rules. She was the fire chief, and Wendell was the burning building. Isn't this fun? Said Sophie. Wendell didn't say anything. Do I get to be the fire chief? Asked Wendell. Maybe, said Sophie. So look, he's always mean to her, and so now this time she's squirting him with the water, pretending like he's a burning building. And then he asked to be the fire chief. She's like, maybe. So now do you think Sophie's having fun? Do you think Wendell's having fun? So she's smiling. He's not. And he looks kind of sad. But all of a sudden, Sophie lets him use the hose. Together, they make a rainbow and they're playing under the water. Soon, Wendell and Sophie didn't care who was the fire chief or who was the burning building. Do you think they like each other now? Time to go, said Sophie's mother. Time to go, said Sophie's father. Already? Said Wendell. Already? Said Sophie. When is Wendell coming back? Asked Sophie. Never, said her mother. Never, said her father. They were really ready to see him go home. That afternoon, when Wendell unpacked his suitcase, he heard something crunch. It was a note from Sophie. It said, I hope I see you soon. What I like about this story is at first Sophie really didn't like her house guest and he really wasn't very nice. But at the very end, they finally played together and then she wanted him to come back. And her parents were like, yeah, I don't think so. So I hope you like this story. And I don't know. I always ask you to tell me something, but I guess what I really like to know is if you liked the book and what your favorite part was. All right. Bye.